morning, dear students. Welcome to the Institute for Open Learning for the Diploma in Education Secondary. Our subject for today will be Business Studies, Module 1. I am Mr. Smanza, your tutor for this subject, Business Studies, Module 1. I can be reached at the following contact number: 081 444 0339. Our class for today will be examination based for 2019. Let's look at the class content for today. We will look at the important topics for the examination preparation. Our class will be a summary of the 3 examinations that will be for May, August, and for November. Our class content will serve as an examination guideline in the preparation and the writing of such an exam. Students to take note that this class only serves as a guide, but is not there to provide the scope of the examination. Just to take note, a few summary that we are going to present today is not a scope, but just a guidance towards your examination. Let's look at the topics of discussion. Students are first advised to take note for them to first understand the business terminologies, as it is or they are very important aspects that one needs to understand for their better understanding of the subject. When we talk of the business examples, business terms in this case, what are we referring to? A few of the examples that are given for this case of this class includes economics, resources, scarcity resources, opportunity, specialization, a few to mention. Students are advised to read and understand the meaning of such words. Why did you choose to study business studies? What is its importance of studying this subject? These subjects helps students or stakeholders to understand the business activities. It also encourages business initiatives. It helps people to have a knowledge on how to be an entrepreneur, to start up a business. It also helps to guide in terms of career. In short, about why one needs to study the business studies. Let's look at the factors of production, which are referred as to the resources that are used in producing the output or goods and services. We are looking at the land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Students, you are advised to read and understand the meaning of such terms. A question may come to ask you to explain or to state and explain such factors. So you need to look at the marks allocated to such a question, where if you are asked to state and explain, please mention, for example, land, which is a point on its own, and the explanation of or the meaning of such a word is a point on its own. Please take note. Let's look at the global trading of our class for today. What do you understand by the term World Trade Organization? A question may be asked. The word may be the term may be given for you to explain, for you to state it in full if it's given in abbreviation. So take note, read and understand such a term of the World Trade Organization. Also read to understand the role of the World Trade Organization. In general or in simple, the World Trade Organization simply means an organization that is there to facilitate, to regulate the international trade between countries. Its role includes to ensure fair, free, and smooth trade flow between such organizations, to deal with global rules of trade between such nations. It is there also to monitor such activities, correct and regulate as said. Let's look at the economic systems that are found in any state or in any country. Economic systems includes, or the types includes, the market economy, the planned economy, and the mixed economy, whereas the market economy is profit driven and the planned economy is a non-profit driven economy. Read and understand the meaning of such terms. You are also advised to read the advantages and the disadvantages of such terms. A question may come in any form. You may be asked to discuss. You may be asked to choose what you think is best among the types of the economy. Please read and understand. Let's look at the role of the state in such economies. What does the state, what is its contribution in such economies? The state is therefore to protect the citizens against threats. The state is there to maintain law and order, to provide goods and services, which may be referred as to the public goods and services. We are talking about the hospital services, educational services, transport services, a few to mention. To protect the natural resources, we are talking about the animals, trees, water, a few to mention, where the state will therefore or is obliged to make regulation and policies that controls and protects such resources. It is also there to generally manage the economy in all its forms. It also encourages competition. This is to protect other organizations or businesses from monopoly businesses. In short, there are lots of roles that the government has to play in the economy of any country. So it is for you to read and understand in broad. Let's continue to look at the wealthy and income distribution. What is it that the government, what is its approach in wealthy and income distribution in the economy? And such intervention must be aimed at reducing unemployment or poverty alleviation. What is it that it can do? A few examples are that the government must sponsor the job creation skills. It must formulate and implement the monetary and the fiscal policies to regulate the income and the wealth in society, to encourage the labor market participation, provide and encourage education and training policies, land reform policy to regulate the distribution of the land in the economy. The state must also intervene through using the social welfare grant and housing assistance that ensures the satisfaction of the basic needs. That is in short about the activities in the economy in terms of business, the types of economies that we get in any state, and the role of the government, the interventions in alleviating poverty and reduce unemployment. Let's look at the financial aspect of the business and of this class for today. What do you understand by the term finance? In simple terms, we are talking about money. Whereas money is an important aspect in any business operation, in any personal needs. This means that every business needs money to effectively, efficiently achieve its operational objectives. There are factors that are referred as to the 5 C's that the lenders or the business, the banks looks at in approving an application for financial assistance of any organization. They are referred as to the 5 C's, where we talk of the capital. What is it that the owner of the business has invested in such a business? The bank will also look at the capacity, which is the ability for such a business to repay the money. They also look at the aspect of collateral. What if it fails? How is such a business going to repay? Or how is it the way that the government, the bank will get its money? We are looking at the character of a business. The bank will look at the character of the people managing such a business. What experience do they have and qualification? Are they knowledgeable to manage such finance? The condition, which is simply the purpose of that money. That is what we are referring as to the 5 C's. Profit and loss account and the balance sheet. What is a profit and loss account in business terms? It is referred as to the business account that shows the financial performance of an organization over a certain period of time. Whereas the profit aspect of this account will then mean the sales and the cost of sales, whereas the net profit will include the gross profit and the expenses. A question may come in any form on this topic, which may require you to calculate the gross profit of a business, to calculate the net profit of the business. You may be given a case and figures may be given, and you are told to fill in the missing words. You may be asked a question to show your calculation and also show the formulas of calculating such financial terms. In short, let's look at the other part of the finance, which is the balance sheet. What is it? A balance sheet is an organizational document that shows the value of the business on a specific time, that is in terms of assets and its liabilities. The same a question may come. You may be asked to calculate the assets and the liabilities of such a balance sheet. Information will be given. You may also be asked to state or show the formulas in calculating such required assets or liabilities of an organization. That is in short about the financial aspect of the business for this class for today. You are advised to read more and understand. I did not mention a lot of the terms or the ratios involved or included in financial aspect in terms of the balance sheet and the profit and loss account. Please read and understand. Let's look at the leadership and management aspect of a business. How do you lead a business or lead people? How do you manage such a business? There is a difference between such terms, where in simple terms we may say leadership is a process of setting the vision and influence people to achieve such a vision, whereas management can be referred as to the process of planning, organizing, and commanding the business activities. What are the functions of the management then? The people that you have assigned to manage the business, what are their functions? The 4 functions of management are referred as to the planning, organizing, controlling, and directing. Please read and understand in case you are asked to explain. What are the qualities of a good manager? The people that you are assigning to manage the business. What are the qualities that you are looking at for the business effective and efficient in its operation? We are looking at managers who have the communication skills, who are self-motivated, who can resolve problems or dispute in an organization, and have presentation skills. A few of the qualities of a good manager. Read and understand more of the qualities. There are also types of leadership. The types of leadership may be autocratic, democratic, the laissez-faire, a few to mention. Read and understand what they mean by the type of leadership. Also look at the advantages and disadvantages of such type of leadership in an organization. That is in short about leadership and management of an organization or a business in simple terms. Let's look at the market. One may ask you as a business student, a business expert or stakeholder, what do you mean by a market? A market may simply means any place where the exchange of goods and services takes place. Then, what is marketing then? Marketing is a business approach or a business method where a business tries to inform the customers about its products through any means. That may include, for example, through telephone, social media, internet, television, any form of marketing, as long as the information is transferred from the business to the intended customers. There is a smart approach in terms of setting and managing the business of the market objectives, which is referred as to smart approach, whereas the abbreviation stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time specific. A question may be asked, state and explain, or explain, or what is the meaning of the abbreviation SMART in terms of the approach of setting and managing the business activities. My dear students, read and understand. Let's look at the aspect of conflict and work participation in a business. Conflict simply means the misunderstanding between more or two people. This may be in business terms or in any social relationship. You are also advised to look at the causes of such conflict. That may simply, for example, limited resources, communication. You talk of the unclear direction or commands from the organizational management or managers, so to say. Read and understand. Also look at the conflict resolution approaches. What are the approaches that are used in a business to resolve such conflicts? This may include the mediation, conciliation, arbitration, strike, a few to mention. Read and understand. There are also organizations that are used in this case in the employment relationship to represent employees in terms of conflict, and they are referred as to trade unions. Read and understand the purpose of a trade union. Read and understand why people join such organization. You are also advised to look at few examples of the trade unions that are in your country. We are talking of our country, Namibia, in this case. What is the participation aspect in this case? Participation simply means the active involvement by the employees in business activities or in decisions. Read to understand the advantages and the disadvantages of work participation in any business. Examples of the advantages of participation may include when employees are involved or actively involved to participate in business activities, the business productivity increases, the human relation improves, the skills are shared, and decisions that are made in an organization are better, and the communication improves. A few of the examples of the benefits of involving or actively involve employees in the business activities and decisions. Let's look at the entrepreneur in society or in business terms. One may ask you as a business expert, a teacher or a learner, what do you understand by the term entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is a person who runs an organization, the owner of the business, a person that has the ability to turn the inputs or the factors of production into the output or the useful output. The character of an entrepreneur or such a person includes people who are self-disciplined, who have confidence in the success of their initiation, the ones who have open-minded and are there to take any risk, the people who accept the responsibilities and are competitive, they are creative and determined to achieve what they want. A lot of the characteristics can describe what an entrepreneur is. Read and understand. Now, we are talking about the entrepreneur. Let's look at, for example, such an entrepreneur intends to open a business. One needs to plan, to make a design of what he intends to achieve. How will you achieve? Where are you going to find the finance? In simple terms, we are referring as one needs to have a business plan. Such a business plan must include the title of the page, the table of content that will guide a reader to understand what is inside such a business plan. It must have the executive summary that explains the business operation, the marketing plan and strategy. How is information going to be disseminated from the business to the intended customers? We look at the aspect of how the business is going to operate. We must look at the human resource strategy. How are you going to get people, and what type of people do you want to work for you? The financial aspect of the business. How do you intend to get the finance? How much do you need and for what purpose? Such a plan is used in sourcing the finance from the banks, from the government, or any financial source that may help such an entrepreneur to finance its business. A question may ask to draw or design. It may come in a scenario. It may come direct to you. You may be given the contents for you to explain such contents of a business. Let's look at the product life cycle of a product. As we have said, an entrepreneur, say you have designed your own business. There is indeed a product that you are going to sell. You must understand also what does a product means. In simple terms, any item that is offered for sale. And there are different types of product that you may get in the business cycle. And such products can be packaged in different forms. Read and understand the types of packaging, the types of product that you want to sell or engage in. Before you design your business, please look at such products for you to choose or design what is good for you. And understand that such products that you intend to bring in business has the lifespan in terms of the business activities. It has its development stage, This is when you decide where your product starts, how you want it to look, its quality, and all those stuffs. There is a stage where you introduce it to the market for the first time. Then once it is in the market, there is a stage that it have to grow when the demand increases. Then there is also a stage of maturity where you are aiming at your product to penetrate the market, to grow, but it has to reach a stage where it matures now, where the demand of a product is now no more increasing, no more decreasing, but it has reached its maturity. Then after its maturity, then the decline stage comes in, where the demands starts to lower due to the incoming competitors that are coming in to compete with you. In short, read to understand such. There are also other important topics that you need to cover, that you need to read. Read about the organizational structure, read about the human needs, the qualities of a good customers, read about discrimination on grounds of HIV, which is a very important aspect in society. Read how a country may help in this case. Look at the forms of communication and advertising. In short, about the topics or important topics in this case. Let's look at the examination preparation and writing guide. When preparing to write your exam, you are advised to firstly pray during your preparation. This may be seen as not part of the professional aspect in this case, but it is just a social advice. All questions in the examinations are from the content of the provided study guide that is provided by this organization or institute. Take note of that. All questions are from the content of your study guide. And you are also advised that you are not limited to the study guide provided, but you are encouraged to source more from other sources that may include the library, the internet, and any other source. Make sure you understand the outcome of each unit. Please ensure that you get information about the venue and the time in advance. Do not forget to carry enough materials necessary for the exam, and such may include the pen, the watch, ruler, calculator, student card, and any other material that may be required in that case. What is it that you are required during the examination? A social advice still comes the same again. Pray before you start writing. Please make sure you first read carefully the examination instructions to avoid disqualification or loss of marks. Students are not allowed to take any forms of notes into the examination. This may lead you to disqualification if you are found with such. Please consider the marks allocated to the questions, as it serves as a guide on the content required in order to avoid the losing of marks. Make sure you understand the meaning of the verbs. This is very important. Make sure you understand the meaning of the verbs used in a question. They are discussed or explained in your study guide, and this includes terms or verbs like discuss, briefly outline, differentiate, list, compare, a few to mention. But for example, if you are asked to discuss, you are asked to point out the positive and the negative features of such a term required and reach or arrive at the conclusion. When you are asked to briefly outline, briefly means in short. Then you are asked or required to explain in short. When you are told to differentiate, please point out only the differences between such terms. When you are asked to state or list, do not try to explain, but please just focus on the facts and just give the names required. A short about the verbs. My dear students, this is the end of our class for today, but as advised, you are not limited to this class presentation, and this does not serve as a scope to the said examination, but read more and understand what we have presented are important aspects for this case and are just summarized in brief, and you are advised to read more and understand. This will be the end of our class for today, and I wish you good luck.